and welcome to Slice of Piefer. I'm Dr. Piefer. I am here with Taylar, what are you today?
I'm what I always am. I'm just
emotional support, braided hair friend, sort of. Here, and then we are blessed to have with us mother, real estate broker, real estate agent, entrepreneur, Tammy Bateman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
We're glad to have you. We had a little bit of a chance to talk before, but I wanted to catch up with you to just see, one, how was your week? How are things going for you? And are you ready for this big freeze coming?
I like talking about the first part.
Yes.
I don't like the last part. So we'll start with the first part. The week has been going great because for some reason real estate has woken back up. I don't really know what to attribute it to because the interest rates haven't really played well for us. But now heading towards the freeze, so I have a little bit of reputation of not following weather at all, ever. And so I get really annoyed when it interrupts my life. And I was supposed to be going to the winter show in Round Top this weekend, and that's not happening.
Canceled. Yeah, everybody's canceling everything.
I mean, it's not canceling, but my ride or dies are canceling and all that stuff. Everybody that's scared of weather, and I'm kind of not.
Yeah. I'm with you. It looks like it may rain Friday, Saturday, then freeze Saturday night, then frozen Sunday, then frozen Monday morning. So we're already calling patients ahead of time. Taylar already put in for time off, which has been rejected again.
the standard operating procedure, reject, and then Taylar just takes off anyway.
It's like the health insurance approach to Taylar's vacation. She requests time off, and I automatically deny it.
Yes, and
from
then
the beginning.
Request forgiveness later.
That's correct. And then she just doesn't show up, but we keep letting her come back.
Yeah.
She's going to try to get us sponsors for the show. It's going to be so good.
Yep.
I think that would be
House
great.
of Pies.
Alani knew, man. I have at least one a day.
Yeah.
I like the color of the can. Officially, pink is my favorite color, which is why I chose this blouse for today.
I love it. Very
Just
nice.
for today.
That's my favorite shade
I thought
of pink.
about taking my jacket off so you could see it better, but maybe I'll do something
It
else.
pops very nicely, though. The jacket is good. I like it. I
My
like it.
room in high school was hot pink with zebra stripes. So it was like hot pink border at the top and the bottom, and then the zebra stripes were in the middle of the room.
I could like
And
that too.
It was just perfect.
The front door to my house is pink,
Nice.
but it's not pink enough. But I'm going to fix that soon.
It's fixable. Yeah.
So tell me this: how many people do you have on your team? What is your team? We talk a lot about leadership here, and so
I hold like 17 licenses, but
Who's counting?
Rule. Who's counting? Well, but some of them are of referral and all that. So in all fairness, probably about 10 of them are out there circulating.
Awesome. And so they work with you and represent you out in the community.
Well, actually, they just really hang their license under my brokerage.
Okay, gotcha.
They're really independent contractors,
Oh, nice.
self-employed people.
Very cool. Entrepreneurs, rocking and rolling. I love it. So do you do primarily residential, commercial, a little bit of everything? How does that work?
I primarily do residential, but I will do commercial light, and I'm currently working on a farm and ranch. I've done some farm and ranch, but it really is completely different.
Where's the farm and ranch?
So it's up in Kennard, Texas. Yeah.
Where's that?
Well, it's north of Huntsville. It's
nice.
exactly 2.5 hours away from my house.
Nice.
Who's counting?
Easy.
Right? But it's gorgeous. And I think that, honestly, it's sort of an untapped area. I think things are headed that way.
Right.
So this is Huntsville area, so this is northeast, and it is gorgeous.
So
Prices are good.
do you find people looking for that are retiring and escaping out there, or do you find people who are really like going up that way and then they're trying to commute? Because like in New York and LA, people don't commute, but here, in Houston, it's not abnormal for folks to go drive an hour. We had somebody who came 4 hours to see us in clinic today.
Hey, I believe that. I drove an hour here just to be with you. So,
Love it.
I get that. I can't imagine doing that daily. But honestly, just circling back to people's desire to buy land and get out, it actually started with COVID. So COVID created the biggest drive to get property out of town. Remember the whole, be self-sustainable and, get out of the city and all of that because it was germy and dangerous and all the stuff they tried to tell us. That really started it. But since then, it hasn't really dropped. It just people are excited about having another place and really checking it out of Houston, just, the concrete city. Blood pressure drops. Everything is just different. So they're
Right.
not really trying to live in them. Not the people that I'm helping. They're really, it's just a second place.
They're trying to get an escape. I like that. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So
this one's a little bit of a stretch. The first goal was to be not beyond an hour and a half, but just like anything else, if you can't get it here, you just start naturally scooching out a little bit.
right.
So we scooched out a little bit.
Very nice. And you mentioned you've got 2 kids, right?
I have
kids.
2 adult boys.
2 adult boys. And what do they do?
One practices law at a prominent law firm, and my youngest one just got a master's in psychology.
Very cool.
So hopefully he's going to be helping people.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We're all helping people in different ways.
Jinx, you owe me a
Yeah,
Coke.
I know. Taylor's talking. Taylor, come on.
Come on.
It's like thinking with the same brain, you know.
It
But
happens.
that is what we what we pay. Well, she doesn't pay me anything, so
I pay you with my time. That's it.
that's right.
Yeah.
And
I
occasionally
noticed
laughs.
When I lived in Galveston, like just the influx of people you would get on the weekend. And so you would ask, like, but they're all coming from Houston, right? They're not
Yes.
coming from far away. It's like that's their weekend home where they're just getting away to.
Because that's just that's an hour, just a hair over an hour. So you lived in Galveston?
Yeah, so I went to PA school at UTMB, and so I lived there. I was on island for a year and then did rotations everywhere. But I'm originally from South Texas, between Corpus Christi and Port O'Connor.
Well, I have a beach house down there, but on the Port Bolivar side.
Nice.
And I've always wondered what it was like to actually live there.
It was nice.
you know?
It's like, I imagine the tiny little fishing town I grew up in used to be close to the county seat. And I imagine if the Hurricane Carla hadn't come through and just wiped everything, it's like
It would
what
be
that
that.
exactly. It would be like what Galveston is, but it was fun. I mean, I really enjoyed living there. It's different. And like I said, the weekday crowd is very different than your weekend crowd.
Yeah.
You've kind of got people just going,
Crisscrossing.
yeah.
It's all good. Very nice. Very nice. Well, one of the things that I've been working on a lot is dealing with high stakes leadership, like high stakes, high pressure, right? And we see it a ton in the operating room. But oh yeah.
I mean, I'm interested in that because I don't think of that whenever I think of you and what you do. That doesn't even come to mind.
Well, it takes a lot of trust, right? So patients are trusting us after really what they found online, how we've met in person, how we've talked to each other. Now saying, hey, I'm going to let you and your anesthesia team and your team put me to sleep, and I'm going to trust that you're going to do what's right for me, right? And so there's a significant amount of pressure with that. And I would assume for you as well, on the side of folks who are making life changes, right? Lifetime
Absolutely.
decisions to go to a home, to move, whether they're opening either a business or getting a second home or moving for their home. I mean, people aren't moving with the intent of generally moving 6 months later, right?
Exactly.
This is a home that you're in it to try to get them where they're going to stay for good. And that I think is there's some pressure in that, and I'm sure you get to see some interesting personalities as well when you're doing that.
Oh, you don't have time for the stories that I could tell.
That's what we're here for.
If nothing else, it is the most interesting career. I've got some really good stories, and everyone tells me I should write a book, but I would have to quit practicing if I wrote the book because, you can only protect the names of the innocent so much.
Right.
I think people might be able to figure themselves out.
Sure.
But actually, when I think about it all the time, I think about things a lot. And I think about when someone moves here from out of town in particular, how do they know what part of town they want to live in? Mm-hmm. I mean, Houston it's really just an overgrown cow town, and it has pockets. So it's like you can just live in one part of it. You don't ever crawl all over Houston. And so that's one thing that I'm always amazed about. And then the other thing is that I think would be hard for people is that in our industry, you go through an agent. So you don't get to talk to the other parties direct and this and that. So you're really trusting that your agent is going to bat for you, representing you well, has the right inflection in their voice. I mean, everything involved in representing you. Because I think about that for myself when I'm doing a personal transaction. It's like I get to go direct because I'm the broker. But if I had to go around and ask them, well, did you say that? Did you do that? I'd be nuts.
Right. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of trust. I mean, people have to put their faith in you. And I mean, I don't know if they shop for agents and brokers like they do for doctors, but
they do. And, in your case, you have the whole old problem of, Googling, WebMD.
Right.
I mean, everybody walks in knowing what their diagnosis is, right?
Dr. Google.
Right. I do it.
Yep. There's no doubt. No question. I mean, I'm sure you have clients who already know what their price of their house should be and are off by, 2 zeros or something like that. And they're like,
lot.
oh, we're not going to, right.
We're off by a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've figured out the comps and all those things. And then
For sure.
you look and you professionally do it and say, no, well, really, we're going to be in this spot, or actually we could be much better or whatever. But
I figured out how to ask the questions.
right. Well, that's good. I mean, I think that's great. And I mean, I think it's so amazing because of what you're doing. You're putting people in their places. I mean, a lot of people are living in their forever homes, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it's, we're a service industry. People think of us, unfortunately, a lot of times almost like a car salesman, but we're not. But you think about it. It is a very influential position in many, many ways. I mean, we influence the economy. We price homes. We can drive prices up. There's a lot to it. So it's important. You have to have some real legitimacy.
Right. Right.
And then, of course, people are Googling us too.
Right.
So they're watching everything we do, our social media. They're Googling us as well, checking us out.
Well, and what is your approach to those things? Because now that social media, when it comes to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of the above, right? You've got a million different options that people can look at. How do you go about that?
I'm constantly watching and studying it, because I've been in this career 26 years and I've seen it go through a lot of changes, and it's ever changing, right? And that's exciting. So you just have to keep watching it and tracking your results and getting educated about it. There's all kinds of classes out there for us to go to where we talk about, oh, no, this is important. If you want branding, you do this. If you want business, you do this.
Yeah.
But the main thing is to be out there.
Right. I think, what Taylor and I do, well, she does it against her will, but we just try to do, not only be out there, but be yourself. Right. Because when you try to go out and be somebody that you're not, it's very clear to everyone. And so,
it's not authentic. Yeah.
Right. No. If you're not authentic, people will figure it out. Like, you went to that class on that weekend and they told you should say this or whatever.
Right.
And so if you can be authentic and be yourself and
not so scripted.
Right.
That's one of the things that I noticed with you, because, typically you think of like an orthopod as like a boring, I'm sorry, but, nerdy, boring, probably not any fun.
You've just described him perfectly.
Right.
I don't think you're any of that at all. And let's say if you weren't doing a podcast or even out there on social doing those cute things that y'all do, people wouldn't see that side of you.
Right.
Like just today. This morning I went to a tax seminar thing, tax tips for realtors. And the guy looked like a stereotypical CPA. And I'm like, oh, God, here we go. We're having an hour and a half of this. I'm prepping. I got my laptop. I'm really doing two things at once. He was so cute. The minute he opened his mouth, got my attention. I'm like, and I went up to him afterward and I said, "You are not your typical CPA." And he said, "Well, that's what my wife says." But it was so great,
Right.
So one of the things that I've noticed is, and especially since working with and getting to know the marketing team, is that I've taken myself outside of just listing, sold, buy this, sell this, to doing a little more goofy, fun, where my personality is coming across, and I'm getting positive feedback from that.
Yeah.
So
I think people really almost, they want that. They want to see that the person that they're dealing with, whether it's a surgeon, whether it's a banker, whether it's a real estate agent,
yes,
that you're a person, right?
Yes.
That, like those ideas that you've got 2 grown sons, or that you've been doing this for this long, or that, hey, I think that whatever is funny, right? And that I'm willing to go out there. And then the reality for me is listen, if you think that because I did a Kim Kardashian skit where I was under a table that I'm not going to be able to fix your ACL, well, then you can go find somebody else. I've got enough confidence that we can do that. And I'm not trying to be arrogant about it. I just I know who I am, and patients in there, and it may not be for some patients.
Yeah.
But it's okay, because there's somebody for them out there too, and more power to them and to the surgeon who gets to help take care of them.
Exactly. And that's another thing, just through training and throughout the years, where different coaches have tried to teach that just work with your A clients, your A people, just let the other ones go.
Right.
In our case, we're 100% sales commission. So we eat what we kill. And so there's that little bit of fear, in the belly. It's like, oh, can't turn that down. So then you end up taking a crummy deal, and then you hate yourself. You can't wait till it's over. Just work with your A clients or people that want to work with you.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we had recently, we had a patient that came from out of town, had talked to somebody else, needed a shoulder surgery. And she found, had gotten into our clinic, but before coming in had seen a bunch of the reels and social media stuff. And then when she met him in the office and I came in and talked with her afterwards, she goes, I just didn't like the professional person he is in here made me feel so confident in him. But they just like the two people, she's like, it's so hard for me to reconcile. He's that same person. She goes, but I know he is because she happens to know me outside of work. So she's like, I know that's you. So I know this has to be him too. And that I can trust somebody to take excellent care of me and be like the utmost professional when it comes to trusting that this person's going to put me to sleep. They're going to fix my problem. But at the same time that, like he's a person outside of just being an orthopedic surgeon. Yeah.
Well,
nice.
it allows for that connection, right? I mean, and that's something that's intangible.
It's humanizing.
In real estate, right? I mean, because
More so than what you do.
folks and folks who don't know any better, they think one real estate agent is the same as everybody else. But the reality is that that's not true, right? That's the people who want to take care of you, who are going to treat you with high levels of hospitality, who understand this is going to be your forever home. And, we say it all the time where we are like, my goal for, the 16-year-old who I did their ACL is when they're 26, I hope that they don't remember who I am, right? Because their knee doesn't bother them every day.
Right.
Now we'll be here. We'll be here. If you fall over and hurt your wrist, call us back. Don't lose our card. But
Now let's talk about a little bit of a difference here. We want them to remember who sold them their house.
You usually want that name to be like when somebody else
Top of mind.
Yeah. Those referrals from people who've, already had the experiences, those are the best.
And there are averages and times of, how long people stay in houses. It is rarely forever anymore.
right.
You move up for different phases of life, and then you move down for different phases of life.
Right. And that's when you have people who can help take care of you. And I think that's awesome.
Because that's really what we're doing. It's a service industry. The house is my product, but really I'm servicing you.
Right. And I think my parallel for you would be this. It's like if you sell folks, they live in the place that they love. They love where they are, right? They don't think about you every day about how they got put into a bad place and had a bad deal, right? That's kind of what I'm saying about don't worry about me.
Yeah.
But then when they say, hey, it's time for me to go find a new house, like I fell and hurt my wrist, hey, we're going to call Tammy, right?
Sure.
Like you don't want them thinking about, I don't want every time someone steps up from a chair to think like, oh, Dr. Piefer, Dr. Piefer, Dr. Piefer, Dr. Piefer, right? If their knee's hurting. So anyway, that's my point. Not to forget about you by any means, but I think that's awesome. I mean, I think it's so fun and the parallels that we can draw between fields, right? Having an open mind to learn about medicine, learn about real estate, learn about marketing, right? Whether all those different things, like you can
Really,
they
because
run next to each other.
most of them have the same components. You're just doing something different.
Right.
I'm not slicing and dicing anybody, even though I would. I'd love to pick things off of people. But I do. Come to me with your problems. I'll clip your warts off. I'll do anything you need.
She watches Dr. Pimple Popper at night to go to sleep. I know it
I
already.
mean, I'm just saying, I think about that all the time, but it's like, we really do the same thing. It's just, we have a different process, different thing going on.
Right.
Right. Well, the book he has us reading right now is about a restaurant business.
It's right there.
Yeah. Unreasonable hospitality, and it's all about somebody who's in the restaurant business. Why? Because we're not in the restaurant business, but it's applicable. The themes and the topics that they're talking about, you can easily draw that parallel and say, how could I do that in healthcare?
Yeah,
right? How
for
can
sure.
I do that here in my clinic? These
Yes.
people who aren't coming to me for a nice meal, but they're coming to me with a problem that we need to help, we need to
Yes.
fix with, and finding it's been interesting. I've been trying to go through and mark areas where I'm like, I really think this is applicable to our field.
Right.
So
It's a great book if you get a chance to read it.
I was going to say, I'm interested in that book. I like to read, and so
oh yeah,
I see all the tabs you have in there.
that's because I'm an A+ student. If I'm given a book project, I'm going to take it very seriously.
So the whole team is reading the book this month, and we have a staff meeting on Thursdays in the afternoon, and we're going to spend a few minutes of that staff meeting talking about takeaways from the first 5 chapters. I think it's 20 chapters or something like that. But it's I mean, the book essentially is about going above and beyond,
Yes.
doing more for people than what they
Yes.
expect from you. And so like, and 11 Madison Park is where they had their, is the restaurant in New York that the author was the general manager of. And they were, the whole book opens like they're at this big award ceremony over in Europe somewhere. They're at an award ceremony in Europe, and they're one of the top 50 restaurants recognized worldwide.
Wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give them, they announce the first, opening up the night is
Place
11
50.
Madison. Yeah, place 50, and they were place 50. So, and then they cut this camera to them, and the two guys are like, like you're one of the top 50 restaurants in the entire world, but you're disappointed, right? So there's still
that came out 50.
There's still that hunger to get better. And they ultimately, through the book, spoiler alert, but they become the best restaurant. They win the number one, but they do it not by having this like crazy level of food, right? They have great food, but they switch and they transfer and they change the hospitality. They change the experience. They figure out, hey, we have folks here who've never seen snow before. We're going to go take them outside. We got them a car. We got them sleds. We're taking them to Central Park. They're going to go have an evening after this, and it's going to be on the restaurant. And the value of that hospitality for them in terms of reputation.
Put them on the map.
Yeah, put them on the map. And so it's a super cool book. I've listened to it multiple times.
And the thing that I liked about it is it wasn't the service that put them on the map. They got on the map with their food, right? I mean, they got in the top 50 restaurants in the world. That's something to be credited, which to me, like for us, is we have a very, I'm lucky to work for a very skilled surgeon. Someone who's very good in the operating room, very technically skilled, very knowledgeable, and stays up to date.
I paid her to say that.
No. That just happens to be my belief. But how do we take that and what like them with their 50th place, and how do we make that where there's not another option? You don't want to see anybody else because we've got the best here. It's in that next level, right? And so that's what I'm using to apply this book to so far.
The team reaching out, the team touching, getting involved pre-op or pre-clinic before, where a lot of folks, only the schedulers may call them, or they get an automated AI schedule. We're going to try to reach out in person and reach out after, not only after their operations, which we do all the time, but reach out after they come into clinic and make sure they get the things that they need to get.
I like that.
And then, somebody was it you? It might have been, I don't know. They were like, what are you going to do? Put mints at the back desk? And I was like,
maybe.
Why not?
Maybe.
Everybody loves mints.
Yeah.
If you don't love mints, sorry.
Well, people just like a takeaway, Actually, I'm sitting here getting inspired, just so y'all know.
That's good.
And, what is it? January 21st. So I'm not too far behind. Get my team all.
Well, we have it's Team Piefer Book Club, and my kids are doing it too. So that's Piefer Family Book Club.
Okay.
They really love it because that's part of their allowance.
Oh,
and
nice.
If they don't read the book, then But my kids have to set up a meeting. They have to read the book, then they have to schedule a meeting that I will not remind them to do, so we can review it. We have to do it twice,
I like
and then
that.
and then if they do it, then we get to go through. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're doing Unreasonable Hospitality, which is a great book. Extreme Ownership, which is a Navy SEAL book by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. It's just about owning, like it's essentially extreme ownership. Like everything is on the leader, but then if the leader owns everything, then the entire team will own everything, which is really cool. And this one is by a good friend of mine who wrote the book called Headamentals. And Headamentals is like about negative self-talk. So for leaders, especially leaders in teams, like that imposter syndrome, like, people talk about that all the time, like doubting yourself and whatnot.
Yes.
And so battling those things. So it's a book club. You can join. You can feel free.
I think I need to. Right.
It's very like I said, my downtime. This is like one day's worth of reading, and it's still like there's already things that I'm looking at going, could we change this? Could we optimize this? Could we make this experience better for our patients? And again, trying to think about what it talks about with your team, right? How if you take care of your team, if you take care of the other people that you work with and that you're leading, they will take better care of your clients, your patients, and if you empower them, there's one example he gives in the book where he's talking about how he was 23 years old at the time and was like an assistant manager at a restaurant, and the GM threw him the keys, said, "Do you mind locking up for the night? I'm going to go ahead and head home." But that power and responsibility that he felt, like, this guy trusts me.
Yes.
I'm going to live up to that expectation. And so I found examples like that really powerful.
They're super fun. I love reading, and so I love
on
listening.
Like 2 times speed though in your car.
I do. I mean, but that's my favorite way to do it. And I stop, pause it, and I dictate, like, here's my note from here. I'm way ahead of her in this book.
I only read books for fun that way. It's going to be stuff that we can't talk about here on the podcast.
And
we'll
keep our rated G rating.
Yeah. I get it.
I don't read those via audiobook. These I like to actually read.
Yes. Hold it in your hand.
They're super fun. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich is another really good one.
So I gave that book to my team one year for Christmas, and and it comes with a workbook.
Yeah.
So we worked through the workbook, and interestingly enough, we started off real strong, and attendance sort of waned off as time went on.
Yeah.
As it does, yeah.
Shocking.
It's a little bit of the book gets a little bit long and lengthy with a lot of lists toward the back of the book in Think and Grow Rich. But the idea, that whole idea, like, right, if you want to set a goal, what would be like a super stretch goal for you in real estate in terms of home sales or number? You don't have to give exact numbers, but let's just say it's $1 billion, right?
Okay.
You're never going to get to $1 billion,
Right.
if you don't picture yourself with $1 billion in sales.
Oh, yeah,
right?
I know, yeah, for
If
sure. Because you're talking to a girl who read, Dress for Success.
Right.
I mean, I've done all that. Let me tell you, that book is so right.
But if you can see yourself there, that's how you get there, right?
For sure.
Taylar, she envisioned this entire podcast,
And here you are.
and here she is.
She did not. That is completely false.
She loves it. I'm envisioning that Taylar loves the podcast.
It came as a joke from a social media thing we were doing.
Oh.
It was not supposed to be something that we actually did. But I came in my office that had a nice view and my kids' artwork on the wall. All of a sudden was this, a mega desk
Oh,
with the soundproofing.
And now she's basically internationally famous. She can barely even take her
See?
minivan anywhere in the country.
see?
Telling people about my minivan. Come on now.
She has a great minivan.
I accidentally rented one on a family snow skiing vacation, and it was pretty cool.
I love it. I'll be honest. I love it.
I mean, I understand the vehicle.
Yeah, I was a never minivan person, but
Yeah.
that fourth kid did me in. So I had to. It's getting a Sprinter van or getting a minivan.
Get the big Mercedes Sprinter.
Yeah.
I like it. Where do you ski?
Colorado mostly. Utah, actually. No, started off in Colorado, and then some in New Mexico and some in Utah.
Where in New Mexico?
Remember the little Ruidoso? That's a little beginner baby. That's where I started the kids there. Gentle slopes.
Chrissy and I, my wife and I, and 2 boys. My daughter was born here in the Woodlands, but we lived in Taos, New Mexico for an entire year, trained there.
So what brought you here?
Well, I'm originally from Austin. I went to med school at Baylor downtown here. My wife is from Fort Worth. We went to Birmingham, Alabama for 5 years of my residency, then Taos, and then we were always coming back to Texas because I'm the oldest of 5. She's the youngest of 4. Most everybody is here in Texas, whether it's Austin, San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston. I have a brother in Brookshire, kind of Katy area. So we knew we would come back, and then she fell in love with the Woodlands and the north side of Houston, and then they just happened to have a job here. So I was like, hey, I'll take
Now
it.
you own the clinic. So.
Yeah, it's all good.
It's funny when you talked about like how people end up in certain areas of Houston.
Yes.
So whenever, I graduated from PA school and I was like, well, where do I want to work in Houston because I want to get the best experience before I go branch out and go to like rural Texas, which is what I thought I would do. Go back to like somewhere where I'm from and bring good experience.
Yes.
So the job I got was in the Woodlands. But at the time I didn't want to, I didn't know where I was going to work. So I ended up living in a not great part of Houston. And I had been there for like a grand total of 2 weeks. And I came home and there was a bunch of cop cars and stuff like that. And there was a quintuple homicide next door. I was like, wow, I got to get out of this area super quick. As a young, single person, female who'd never lived in the big city. What do I do?
That's a story.
Yeah. So ended up relocating up to the Spring Woodlands area.
Nice.
And here you are, 4 kids later?
Yeah, but we've lived everywhere. I lived in South Dakota. We moved back to South Texas for a while. I was there, and then the Woodlands. So I've had a kid born in each one of those areas.
The bright lights of the Woodlands brought her back. It's all good.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So for people who we actually, because I have teenagers, I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 13-year-old, and I have lots of nieces and nephews who are kind of in the college age range. For people who want to get into real estate, if they're looking at this, trying to think about their career, they're thinking and growing rich, what do they need to do? What do you need to do if you want to become
I think that there are actually real estate degrees that you can get now. I don't know, because I've had some little interns and stuff
Sure.
that were thinking about it and just kind of wanted to come shadow and hang out for the summer and see. Well, not one of them stayed in it, but I mean, when you figure out what it's really like,
right?
but
The glamour.
right? I mean, you're lucky I'm here. I cut my lunch off in time to come here and be here for the podcast.
We do appreciate the sacrifice.
But
That is
typically,
true.
I'm lunching and maybe having a cocktail, maybe spending a little bit of money. No, not really. But
I'd be like, you're the first real estate broker I've ever known who has that kind of luxury.
so basically, they need to just get a good, solid education,
Right.
and be thinking about what kind of lifestyle they want to have.
Yeah.
A lot of people go into this thinking that they're going to have freedom.
Yeah.
Guess what you don't have when you go into real estate?
Yeah.
No, it's, there's the life of the transaction, and it's got phases where it's calm and hectic and all of that. But it's really thinking about, and this would go for any choice that you make, any specialty that you decide on, is what do you want your lifestyle to be like?
Right.
How does that look for you?
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
one of the things that I push a whole bunch too is just having that foundation, a foundation of service.
Yes.
Right. And
Yes.
and I think if you
And doing what you love.
right, 100%.
Do what you love. I mean, I'm excited every day of my life.
That's awesome.
And I like this as much today as the day I got in it.
Very cool.
And I like that it's ever changing.
Yeah.
How long
Here,
have you
hold
been
on.
in real estate?
26 years.
I was just doing some. It was just some applause.
Oh, it was so loud.
Oh, no.
Oh, the
No
crickets.
Yeah.
Or we can do this one. I don't know what this one is. Oh. That's Taylor's entrance.
They're cute.
Yeah. Anytime you can push a button and give applause to yourself, it's a big. It helps with the negative self-talk.
For sure.
You know,
It helps.
It's
It's
good.
probably a
Good.
guideline you got in that
Mentals.
book.
Yes.
Negative
Push the
self-talk.
button.
You're the guy that looks in the mirror every day and says, that guy's going to have a great day.
That is true.
Yes,
that is very
that's
true.
what I do. I have a little thing I look at. It says, this is going to be the best day of my life.
Yes.
I'm in control of my mind. My mind does not control me.
Amen.
And I remain open.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's my thing.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Every morning.
That's good positive self-talk.
Yeah. Mine usually starts with Wait, that's it. That guy's gonna have a great day. Taylor, look at those faces. It's priceless. Priceless. Come on, Alani. Send us some sponsorships.
Please.
I think those expired lotions you've been putting on your skin are starting
I
to
have been
affect your
trying.
brain.
My wife was really encouraging me to do some good skincare. I was like, some people have a 4-head, some people have a 5-head. My kids say I have an infinity head, and I was like, that's a lot of lotion, Chris. It's a lot of lotion. So
But you have to protect that skin.
that's true.
He was having to select something like about fingerprinting and stuff.
No.
And he's like, so what for hair? It says like it has a drop down for hair colors, and one of the options is brown, right? But one is bald. And he said, so I'm gonna pick brown. And I looked at him. I said, am I gonna have to be the person who tells you need to put bald? Like
Rude. So rude.
he was so
Broke my heart.
He was so upset about it. It was so funny. Am I gonna be the person that says on that click down when you go in? If you put brown hair, they're gonna be like, I don't know that you are who you say
And then
you are.
this is what I did. I
lose your
said,
credibility,
look
then.
right here.
You won't be
Definitely
getting-
brown.
It doesn't say
Definitely
what color
brown.
is your eyebrow hair.
I'm gonna get the frost the tips of my eyebrows. It's
Yeah,
gonna
I
be,
know.
It's gonna be good.
Don't do that prematurely.
It's gonna be good.
No.
But that's awesome. Well, one of the things also, we talk about we talk a ton about leadership, right? And what separates a good leader from a great leader, or what separates good leaders from maybe not so good leaders. In your life, where have you seen that? Where have you seen examples of great leadership, and what are the characteristics that you feel like really move those people into that realm where you would say, hey, that's really a great leader?
Yeah, so I've been at a couple of big brokerages before going independent. And at those brokerages, I was watching and paying attention to every move they made. I watched how they sat, how they held their hands. I watched everything they did, and I emulated it. But that's my learning style. And what I saw was consistency.
Yep.
Predominantly more than anything. Was consistency, same thing over and over and over. You know, people learn repetitive, and then just having the credibility is by being consistent, right?
Yep.
I think that one is the biggest. And then lead by example.
Right.
He's probably one out of the two that I looked up to as mentors was lead by example.
Right. I think I think those are awesome. That's so key, because if you always are consistent, no matter what is happening, you're going to keep moving forward. You're going to keep doing what's best. You're going to keep serving people. And that's part of your mantra and part of what you're going to do. And then you're always willing to do anything to help move forward. Yes. Not anything like bad things, but like anything. Like if you're willing to do that, I think then that sets the tone for the whole team. Right. And I think that's great. The other thing we did, or that I did recently, is called the leadership diagnostic, right? And so it's something that we're trying to see, because in medical leadership, one of the things I get to see a lot is I get to deal with a lot of the bad behaviors, right? Folks who aren't the leading with consistency and leading by example. So we get to see that. And so what part of that is, as a leader, seeing what weaknesses, like being willing to look back and identify your weaknesses. And so one of them was the tyrant, right? So there's some people who lead like dictators, right? They lead with fear, they lead with pain, and people work hard for them to get out of it and get away, but those people don't hang around. And then there's the person who's the pleaser, right? Who, even when the team could get better, they don't move forward with that they won't give the constructive criticism, so the team will get better. And then the best of the best, like the Taylors of the world, if we could get better, she wants to know, how could we get better, right? And if I'm too weak as a leader to tell her, like, hey, we could have done this a little bit better, eventually she's going to go find the place where she can excel and do great. And so we kind of went through all of those, and the person who loses their control, and the person who's indecisive and just keeps gathering data before they'll ever make a decision. I'm sure you've got home buyers who just keep let's go look at one more house.
Let's get some more comps. Let's look at some more comparables.
Right. It's just like the wedding dress. You go to look for wedding dresses, and you love the first one you put on, but there's no way you can get that one.
Correct.
Right.
You got to try on 50 more.
The analysis paralysis, right?
But so I'm just tying back to, y'all have heard of the DISC profile?
I have not.
Okay, so let's talk about that a minute.
Yeah.
Because this is something that a lot of the real estate brokerages will use. If you're thinking about joining their firm, they'll want to have you take the DISC profile test. And so obviously you're either a D, an I, or an S, or a D, C, and sometimes there can be some overlap. But what this does is it points out what your personality type is, because in all honesty, we're talking about leadership, but not everyone is wired to be a leader.
True.
Not everybody can be a leader, because we need the different positions to accomplish everything that makes the world go round, right? And so if you're working on leadership, you have to also realize that not everyone on your team is going to be a leader, and you don't want them to be. So everybody that you employ, or everybody in the office, everybody needs to take the DISC profile. It's fun. Sit around, take it together. And then you can talk about it, and you'll go, I knew you were that, or I knew you were that. And don't expect a C to be a D.
Right.
They're not going to be.
Yeah. Reminds me of when we did like the Myers-Briggs stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
I loved the Myers-Briggs.
Mine said that basically I have the same personality type as Adolf Hitler. So it made me a little bit scared.
Maybe you need to go into real estate.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Or dictatorship.
Sorry, not to steal her from you or anything like that. But
it was like ENTJ. I was
that's
like,
interesting. Well, every once in a while I get a kick out of pulling my old Myers-Briggs out. And guess what one of mine was? Realtor.
There you
makes
go.
sense. Mine put me in what it called Region Q. It's basically said, like, we don't really know what you'll do. just pick, you know, like
Gee, thanks.
We're afraid you're going to run a fascist country and
made
try to
us
take
do it.
over the world.
they made us do it in high school, and they, you know, they divide you like you would be suited to, you know, study architecture or math. You're suited for this. You're suited for that. And
Yeah.
mine put me in. There was this little circle in the middle that says Region Q with a question mark.
Nice.
That's where I was.
Nice.
So
I wonder what would happen if you retook it now.
I took a similar one when I got older, and it still said basically,
Really?
Yeah.
You're still a Q.
I'm still a Q.
Still
But that was
a weirdo.
probably about 7 years ago, so maybe retake again.
six or seven.
6, 7. Oh my god.
Have you seen that? No.
No.
6, 7.
Oh,
It's a
yeah, no, I
teenager
have
thing.
seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're killing us. Yeah, mine was 95% extrovert. So surprise.
I'm just surprised it was 95 and not like 99.
Y'all are going to make me get mine out when I go back home.
You can go check it out. It's going to be good.
I know right where it is in the drawer.
Well,
That's one of my most valuable things. You know, I carry that around like important to me, like my birth certificate.
Well, it's important to know what
You know what I mean?
it's
Here it
important
is.
to
This is
know
my
what
badge.
you are. Like it's important to be realistic about your strengths, your innate abilities, and the things that we're not as suited
Yeah.
for.
Agreed.
Right? That knowing those strengths and weaknesses, I think, is another sign of a really good leader. Knowing where your strengths lie and where your strengths are not. Where,
Right.
Where you have some
Right.
weaknesses that
No
you need
question.
to improve upon.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, I might be the owner broker of the firm, but I have weak areas.
right. And that's some of those things. We talked about that a little bit earlier too, is like when you find those areas that are weaknesses, if you can learn how to do them, but if it's easier to delegate, then you have to have the courage
Yes.
and the strength to delegate it to the people who you know can do it. Maybe they wouldn't do it 100% exactly the way you do, but they probably ultimately would do it better than I would. And so I'm going to let them have that and let them run, and then ultimately your business will be better in the end.
Sure.
So
Everything will be better.
for sure. Well, if there's anything that Taylor and I could do to help you, what would it be?
Keep everybody feeling good where they can work,
There you go.
right? It's no pain. We don't want anybody in pain, right?
We can do that. We can help. We can try to help with that for sure. And where can all of our listeners and viewers find you?
Oh my gosh.
So,
TammyBateman.com.
yes.
Or please just call me on my cell. I will answer the phone.
Awesome.
713-557-5007.
We also, everybody who comes on gets their favorite pie. A little birdie told me that you loved apple. This is
Yes.
Dutch apple because the Dutch apple pies have been the bee's knees so far for everyone who gets pies.
Thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Thank you so much for taking time from your day to come be here. Thank you for sharing with us. I am super excited to keep following you and see where life continues to take you, because there's, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be in a great place. We're going to play some applause,
Okay.
which hopefully you'll hear.
So loud.
And then finally, the dance off.
He mainly dances.
She won't dance.
You can dance if you want to.
Now is usually the point when I look over and I realize that I have not hit record on whatever device we're
Did you
recording
hit
on.
record?
But I did.
Yes.
So we're safe. Victory.
Thank you.